always a special day when Willie McGinest is here in the Rich Eisen Show studio, but we know it's a very special day, Willie McGinest. It is a special day. It is your 44th birthday.
Wow.
And we have some cupcakes to celebrate it.
That's a nice surprise.
What do you want? You want to try one? What do you want to do? Is a cookie on top?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to come get one.
You gonna come get one?
Yeah, come get one.
Get your
man.
first pick there, Willie.
Del Tufo, do you have any happy birthday music?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working.
Get a little
Well, the
lemon.
segment's
Are
only
you?
got
You're
34
just-
seconds
you're
left.
not doing
loading
anything.
something up.
What are you
Follow
loading?
lemon.
What are you loading? I'll have someone with you. Cheers. Happy birthday to you, Willie McGinest.
Cheers.
Atta boy.
Sorry I started a little early.
Atta boy. No, it's okay. It's your birthday. You do it. What are you going to do the rest of the day?
Got a little volleyball with my daughter.
Oh,
Hang out. Probably go get something to eat a little later.
that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
And then the Rich Eisen Show?
Low key.
That's what we're doing now.
That's it. Del Tufo, you have only, how much time's left in this segment? There you go.
Little Stevie Wonder. Happy birthday, man. I wanted to play the
Oh, I
right.
didn't want to do this. Is Stevie in your phone? You know him?
It's not in my phone.
I'd love to play Willie McGinest phone Rolodex with you, man.
Right here. I don't have Stevie. Stevie's big time.
You are too, man. You're the OG. We know that. Now you're in more OG than you were yesterday. Willie McGinest, number 55, turns the big 4-4 today.
I was trying to keep that on the low.
No, people can Google it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wear it with pride, sir.
I am.
You look 24.
I'm trying.
Willie McGinest here in the Rich Eisen Show studio. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the cupcake.
Hey, look, man.
I
Well,
went around the studio. That was great.
look, I got to be honest with you. I had nothing to do with it, and if I did, I would have asked for the receipt and put it in, for some form of reimbursement. But that's not how any indication how I feel about you.
Right.
But you know,
Yes.
I love you. My wife loves you. The whole family here at the Rich Eisen Show loves you. Happy birthday to you, Willie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, make heads or tails of this Texans-New England matchup, okay? Because Cornell coordinates the defense, Vrabel on his staff,
Right.
Wilfork on their team. What is Belichick sitting there concerned about trade secrets at all this week that's being passed along to help beat New England? Is he concerned about that at all?
Well, no, not with that staff. I think he trusts Romeo. They have a great relationship. Mike Vrabel has a lot of respect.
What do you mean trust? I mean, this
Well,
is going
no, I understand, but they have a mutual respect for each other. And when it comes to trying to figure out tendencies and what the Patriots are going to do, it's hard because they change from week to week. They change from year to year. Their personnel changes. And, Romeo hasn't been in that locker room or in the organization for some time now. Vrabel hasn't.
But Wilfork has.
Wilfork has, but, he's the defensive guy. And I understand what they're trying to do. Now, he may have certain things because he played with Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator. So he may have a couple things that he can look at and say, hey, against this type of personnel or against this, they're going to try and do that. So he may have a little more insight. That may help a little bit.
So Wilfork, out of all of them that is still there, what about O'Brien? What about Bill?
Well, Billy O played in that offensive system, right? He was, coached. He was the offensive coordinator. And, he could be familiar with what they do. I mean, they still kind of run a similar system to when Billy O was there. So maybe.
So you know Belichick better than anybody. Do you think he's at all concerned about the Houston Texans have everywhere people who know what they do and how they like to do business?
I think they're familiar, but what he's concerned about is trying to find a way to beat this team. And things are going to change. Things are not going to be the same. So some of the things that they may think may happen, it's probably not going to happen. This team game plans and schemes week to week.
So are we making too much of it in the media?
No, but it's a good point. A lot of coaches and a lot of players are familiar with each other and the schemes. I mean, when all those players and coaches used to go back and forth to the Jets, that's why those games were so close, because they knew how each other think and under certain circumstances what they would want to do. And, when you're familiar with somebody and you know how they think and how they game plan, the games seem to be a little closer.
Willie McGinest here on the Rich Eisen Show. Did you play against New England as a Brown? Did you ever do that?
I did.
Okay, so that week, were you downloading everybody with
I
what
was
you
trying to help out our defensive coordinator at the time, and he didn't listen much.
What? Who
He
was the
didn't listen
DC? Let's
much.
name names here.
No,
Come on, we can look that up. That's Googleable.
We're looking that up. Don't
That is
worry.
Googleable.
You look it up. I'll let you guys pull it up. I try to give him some things of how to attack, the offense and Tom Brady and what you pretty much had to do, and he stuck to his
Did he say
game
thanks,
plan.
but no thanks?
Well, I mean, kind of in a way, and we got thumped. We went down there and got thumped.
So, I mean, what's a name? Give me a name, Chris Law.
I'm
When
looking
you were
up-
there,
pulling
what
up
year
the
was this?
staff
Come on.
right now.
Just give it out there because
You
they're
won't
struggling.
find it.
My Chris Command Center's struggling right now with
Hold
the
on,
Google.
offensive line coach, strength and conditioning.
Oh, stop.
D-line coach. I mean, defensive coordinator.
Of what, the 2005 Cleveland Browns?
Mm-hmm.
The
2006.
I pulled up
2007.
7 where it was Crennel as an assistant,
Definitely
which
not
wouldn't have
him.
been Romeo.
No.
Let me
No.
pull up 06.
Grantham.
Grantham? Thank you. Thank you for saving us the time here.
I'll give
Okay.
it to you.
No, so, well, that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, and I was there for 12 years, but for Tom since 2001 until I left.
Right.
And for Belichick since he had
So
gotten there.
Vrabel's not going and saying Tom
No,
has these tendencies?
No, Vrabel's smart, but it's a different Tom. I mean, Vrabel hasn't been there in a while, some time now. And,
And Tom knows that too, right?
Tom knows that. He understands those guys, and the game plan is going to change. They may give them some things they may think
Like,
they're going to see.
Will Fork being
and
that
change
guy.
it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Will Fork is not, Cornell's obviously
Well,
going
I
to be.
mean, he's only a year or two removed.
That's it,
removed.
that's it.
Yeah. So some of the same things that they did defensively, or they're still doing.
What also, you can be my Belichick interpreter.
Okay.
We're hearing a lot of J.J. Watt talk out of the New England press conferences this
Lot of
week.
attention.
And he mentions, talking about Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you when you hear that sort of conversation with Belichick this week?
That means they're going to have a game for JJ to try to eliminate him from disrupting this game. He's an impactful player. He's going to move around a lot. Romeo Crennel knows that. He's probably going to line him up where he can affect the pocket most and get to Brady as fast as he possibly can. So in knowing that, Belichick's going to come up with the scheme with Josh McDaniels to try and probably get the ball out of Tom's hands pretty fast.
And so how do they do that? Is it the backs? Do you think they're going to be a
Well, you use the backs.
heavy?
You spread them. You spread them out. That way, the defense has to identify. They have to walk out. That way, it gives Tom a picture of who's covering, if they're in zone or man, and where guys are. And if you speed up the tempo, guys don't have a lot of time to disguise and move around. So if you speed that tempo up, guys got to get lined up right now and go, so you know where they are.
I'm here with Willie McGinest on the Rich Eisen Show. What did you think of Dwight Freeney's spin move at the end of the game last night to wrap it up? It wasn't a spin?
It was a spin, but it wasn't the classic spin. It took a little longer, but it still worked, and it still was effective.
Yeah.
And he still got the game-winning strip sack to win the football game, and that's why they brought him there.
Yeah. And did you know that was his 4th sack of the season?
Yes.
And that kicked in an incentive clause?
Yeah, for $200,000.
That was a $200,000
I was like,
sack.
wow. And he leads the team. That's why, I was a little, he doesn't play that much.
No.
He's a specialist. They use him where needed. And that just tells you that team was struggling a little bit and getting to the quarterback. And now when he comes in the game to save the day, it's great. He gets paid $200,000 for a sack. He's winning football games. And it's a good decision by, Bruce Arians. I like that he still trusts and believes in older players, and they still can be effective.
Is Arizona the second best team in the NFL?
They're fighting. They're fighting. They're trying to be the first best.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect by saying second best to Arizona. There's a team that's 12-0.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
Carolina.
But
you got to give them number one. 'Cause
That's
they're
why I
undefeated.
said
get
that.
You. They're up there. I don't think because you're undefeated or you have 1 or 2 losses that means you're the best or second best. I think the teams that are starting to play better football now.
That's what Carolina's
in
doing
December,
too, right? Seattle.
And consistent Seattle. Those teams. There's always a dark horse that's going to come out of nowhere and just start to figure it out and just go on a run.
Well, it could be Pittsburgh. Could be that
be.
team. One team that's definitely not is coming from the NFC East, right? That team's not. that team's not walking through
We
that
don't
door.
know. One team's going to be in the playoffs. We know that.
That is
Somebody's
going to happen.
represent.
And they're going
the
to
NFC
and they're
East.
most likely going to welcome the Seattle Seahawks into their house.
Yes,
Look out.
I know. It's going to be rough.
Let's take a 60-second break. More football talk with the birthday boy, Willie McGinest. Our pick 3 teams. We'll talk fantasy as well. And we will set the table one more time for the Houston-New England game and what that means, not only for both of the fan bases, but for right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Thursday Night Football is not the only NFL Network CBS collaboration. I'm here with Willie McGinest, my compadre from the NFL Network, star of this past week's Scorpion on CBS as well.
I wouldn't say star.
You were the star.
I had a little part.
Come on, Willie, you were a star of this. What was that like?
It was fun. It was fun.
You like the acting?
I love it, but you know, it's one of the hardest things that you ever have to do. I have so much respect for actors, and I met Leonardo DiCaprio at the Weekend concert Wednesday night, and I just had to stop. I was in awe because I've watched a lot of his films, and I told him how much I respect him because that little 30-second part I did.
Yes.
And the respect I have for what they go through and how they have to transform into something else.
Yes.
It's incredible.
So Leonardo, did Leo know who you were?
I don't know. I mean, you know, he has a million people walking up to him, but I had to let him know I know who he was and I respected his work.
Okay. Is he now in the famed
No,
Willie
I did not
McGinest
get the
Rolodex?
phone.
He's not on the phone?
He was having a private convection with The Weeknd, so I just wanted to pay my respects.
With the
and keep
who?
it moving.
With the who?
The Weeknd, R&B artist.
Oh, okay.
Great singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need a little bit of help on the uptake.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need a little bit of help. Willie McGinest here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what's the next best game this week would be what? What are you looking forward to? Oakland, Denver?
I like the Buffalo Philly game. Oh, it's a lot of storylines in that game.
What do you think of LaShawn saying Chip he can't shake you know what? And Chip basically saying I couldn't get to him before the trade went down.
I think
What'd you
Chip
think about
took
that?
the high road, but I respect McCoy for being consistent on how he feels. I just hope it doesn't become a distraction for him for the game. A lot of times we get a little emotional. He is going back to Philadelphia. It wasn't his choice to leave. So I just hope it doesn't become too big for him and he just stays within the team.
That takes himself out of the game?
Yeah, he just stays within
You've
the
seen
team.
that, right? Where somebody takes themselves out of the game because they're so hyped up
and they're
for
not
it.
even, and they don't make an impact on the game. They don't even have, it's like they're not there. But in saying that,
Yes.
the Philadelphia defense in the last 6 games is last in rush yards per game. They're giving up 155 yards per game.
Yes.
So, in saying that, this could be a perfect setting or platform for Shady to go in and have a great game.
I'm here with Willie McGinest here on the Rich Eisen Show. Which one of you guys is going to take LaShawn McCoy for the draft tops? Which one of you guys is going to do that? Both Chris Command Centers raising their hand. Let's get to our pick 3. Each week, Willie, we choose a pick 3 as part of our Friends of Rich Celebrity League, which I'd love to have you in. You know, Snoop's in it.
Is he?
You're
How's he doing? He wasn't doing too well last time I was here.
Snoop joined late. We offered to give him some points to start things off. We offered, because he joined after 2 weeks, we offered to give him the lowest point total. He did take the points?
He did take the points, but it was the lowest that anyone had scored. So he was starting a little bit behind.
Okay. And so, but right now he's in 3rd to last. He's 12th out of 14.
Yeah, I think he was in last the last time I was
Yeah, so
here.
our fan is in dead last, and 15 points in front of our fan is the bearded wonder over there in the Penn State sweatshirt, Chris Law, who kicks off this week's. Hit the music. Chris Law, what's your pick 3 this week? Go for it.
You want me to go first? All right, I'm going to go with my quarterback. I'm looking at that game, Detroit against St. Louis. St. Louis's defense is really banged up. No Janoris Jenkins, Tremaine Johnson back at practice. No Robert Quinn or T.J. McDonald. Matt Stafford as my quarterback this week. He's got 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in his last 2 games. Running back already established. I'm going LaShawn McCoy. Willie, you just said it. Eagles defense letting up $155 their last 5 games. They're 27th on the season in rush defense. And Shady has 3 100-yard games in his last 6. In wide receiver, I'm kind of going with the trend I started a few weeks ago. I'm looking at whoever's playing against the New Orleans Saints. Mike Evans and the Tampa Bay Bucks take on the Saints this week. He's got 99 targets on the season, only 3 touchdowns. But I'm hoping this is the week he finds the end zone, not once, but maybe twice.
What do you think of how Jameis is playing, Willie?
I like it. I mean, he's confident. He's playing well. It just seems like he's developing. He's getting better every week.
So it's just the fact that have you also heard some of his rallying cries in the locker room? And have you ever heard that out of a rookie quarterback, being so vocal and taking a leadership role?
He was vocal coming in. And when you get picked number 1, I think people expect that out of you. But you have to go on the field and produce as well. So he's playing well. He's getting better each week. And he has that type of attitude. He has that. He's that personality. When he came in, you saw that going through the process at the combine and everything else. When he was interviewing, he has that about him. So you know that was a part of him he was going to get.
Well, and it's a big 5-day stretch for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up because they've got that game at home against the Saints, and then Thursday night on the road, their last road game of the year right away. They're in St. Louis. If they can go 8-6 with 2 home dates left,
they got a shot.
And it's Jameis's first nationally televised game since he went out against Oregon for Florida State. So it's a big stage for him. Chris Brockman, let's get your team right now. Go for it.
I wanted to take Russell Wilson this week at Baltimore.
But
you mentioned it first. I didn't want to have the same lineup, so I'm going Cam Newton against Atlanta. 5 touchdowns in 2 of the last 3 games.
how weak is that, by the way? How weak is that?
What do you mean, how weak is that?
You had the guy I wanted, so I'm just going to take the hottest two-way threat quarterback this league has seen in a very long
Says the guy taking
time.
the number 1 option at every position this week.
Okay, go for it.
And then number 2, I'm going to take LaShawn McCoy. I think he's going to get 500 carries for about 2,000 yards this week against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And he's going to walk over and shake Chip Kelly's hand after each of his 3 touchdowns.
With how many fingers?
Wow.
And I'm going to go Monday night, my man, for the 3rd week in a row, Mr. One-Hand Catch himself, Odell Beckham.
3rd week in a row. See, you're taking my man crush 3 straights in a week, 3 weeks in a row. So
What can I say?
all right, Newton, McCoy, and Beckham. Poor you. Poor you, Chris Brockman. Here's my. I'm going Russell
Well,
Wilson.
I'm ahead of both of you in the standings,
And
so I know
I'm the
what
first
I'm doing.
person, it's now week 14. I am the first person, and that includes Jerry Cantrell, the big Seahawks homer, to choose Russell Wilson this year in draft ops. I think he's going to go in Baltimore, and I almost took Thomas Rawls on top of it, too, but I'm going Doug Martin instead. So it's Russell Wilson, my quarterback, Doug Martin, the
That's a good
Dugginator, my running back.
Doug Martin's a good one.
And he's going against that Saints defense also. And then I'm going Antonio Brown on top of that. What's the big deal? I almost went DeAndre Hopkins, but I like the way that Malcolm Butler is playing that corner position with the safety help over the top.
Yeah.
And that concerns me that Hopkins is another one of those guys that Belichick's going to take out to see who else can beat you.
It's kind of try. Hopkins is pretty. He's pretty lethal.
I know that.
He's good. I think that Malcolm Butler is going to do a decent job, but Hopkins is still going to have certain plays. Now he will demand the double team.
Well, and a lot of people thought, that he, before Revis went out with a concussion in that game, he torched him.
He was torching him already.
To the point where there's conversation with Revis coming back this week against Tennessee, wondering if we're seeing the decline of Darrelle Revis.
Well, we have. I mean, we saw a lot of young receivers do that. We saw Watkins do it. We saw Amari Cooper do it. And then we saw Hopkins do it.
Well, Watkins did it in a crucial 3rd down at the end of the game, but other than that, he didn't do very much.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. And there was another receiver that I'm missing. I forgot who it was, but all the young.
So you believe that
receivers,
sort of conversation about Revis right now?
Yeah. It's on TV. We're watching it.
It's on TV.
We're watching it. It's a reality show, Heath Evans says. We're watching a reality show happen.
Mm-hmm. It's this Sunday. If you haven't already, try the Rich Eisen Show. Pick 3 on DraftOps.com. So do it like us: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Relax, sit back, and see how you do. It only takes a few seconds to play for an entire day of fun. Pick, watch, win. DraftOps.com. That's DraftOps.com. So during the summer, Steve from Houston, that is his name, the listener of this show from Houston, a big Texan fan, told Brockman the Texans were going to beat the Patriots, and they played them in Week 14. Brockman said, no chance. And he said, no chance that if the Patriots lost this game, he would eat one of Mike Del Tufo's show-worn cargo shorts.
Yeah,
So you have them on right now, Del Tufo?
I have, not only do I have them on, but I've brought a bag of.
That's not what I'm concerned about. How it's going to be transferred to Brockman. How's the seat been? Have you
I'm working
have
these
you
in.
moved around in your seat for the last 2+ hours?
No, I'm staying really.
Did you eat anything for dinner last night?
Beans. I went. Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Pasta soda.
Laugh it up.
How concerned are you? Should Brockman be concerned about eating
Well,
these
there's
shorts?
there's always a chance. I mean,
How concerned should he be? Out of a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned should he be? Give me a number.
4.
Huh.
I'm going to listen to the Patriots Hall of Fame.
I know. Well, okay. Very good. Well, you would know. You would know. Very good, Willie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Rich.
You bet. That's Willie McGinest right here. We're back with the best of the week, maybe one more of your phone calls, and get you set for the weekend here on this Friday edition of the Rich Eisen Show.
Oh, this is the weekend, Rich.
Nice.
But I love it. Oh, I can feel my face when I'm with you. The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.